You are listening to Abnormal Spaces.
I'm Donnie.
I'm Ryan.
In this podcast, we discuss conceptual realities, the researchers, authors, and explorers who describe and define them, as well as our personal experiences in these abnormal spaces. In this episode, we discuss the Schumann Resonances, their effects on both Earth and Earthlings, and how lightning strikes and the molten spinning core of the Earth interact to create this tone of home. We talk a lot about consciousness, and there's a brainwave state that's kind of in between, or at least the way I understand it, and it is the best brainwave state for like meditation and for healing and stuff like that. And that is right in between 7 and 8 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
And that corresponds with the Schumann resonance, and that is the resonance of Earth. That is basically the heartbeat or the sound of Earth. And that is really fascinating to me because one of the states that people whose brainwaves are in that particular frequency is kind of a dream state or a lucid dream state or something like that.
It's like alpha.
Yeah.
Like that light trance state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked about creating reality with your thoughts and intentions, and we've talked about the light being the information. And I was really fascinated by the concept of that state, that brainwave state, creating reality or creating your the environment in which you identify as reality. I just thought it was really cool that is the same frequency, basically, of the Earth itself. So like the creation of everything, of like, energy, I guess there really can't be creation of energy, but the creation of our understanding of everything happens best right in that frequency. That happens to be the Earth frequency.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's really neat. So to kind of explain a little bit about how the Schumann resonance works and what it is, there was a scientist in the 50s, Winifred Schumann, and he theorized that this resonance would exist. He wasn't sure yet what frequency or anything else, but in studying the Earth, he theorized this would be. There was a gentleman in the late 1800s, like in the 1890s, that also theorized some of this. It was a little bit different, but regardless, he does deserve some credit. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Koenig or Koenig.
I've heard that.
Yeah. But anyway, and then Tesla also, to a degree, when he was working on just the free electricity of Earth, but it was Schumann that actually, quote unquote, figured it out, but it wasn't until about 7 years later that they were able to actually detect it and test for it. So what it is there is a cavity, essentially, between the biosphere, so that's, on top of the crust where we live and the oceans and all that, and the ionosphere. And so in that cavity, there are lightning strikes. And so the lightning strikes not only discharge from the cloud to the ground, but they also go the other direction as well.
Yeah.
Which is really crazy to imagine that. But part of that is fueled by solar radiation. So we have this, magnetosphere around the Earth, and the poles of the Earth are the poles of the magnetosphere. And that shields us somewhat from the solar radiation, but solar radiation is bombarding Earth, and the lightning strikes are happening. And within that cavity, for lack of a better term, there is a low level, like hum, that is created, and a low amplitude frequency that is created. It's 7.83 hertz. And that is the Schumann resonance. That is the heartbeat of the Earth, the sound of the Earth, etc. Mm-hmm. It fluctuates. And that 7.83 is the foundational resonance. And then there are harmonic resonances after that. So there's 11 something and 14 something. And anyway, those frequencies correspond with the chakras, which is really interesting to me too. And they correspond to other brainwave states. So one of them is kind of your, for those of you that have a regular job or you work a regular shift or whatever, a lot of times you're in like a beta brainwave state. That is one of these resonances as well. So there are lots of theories about what all this means. And some of those delve into the more mystical stuff, and some of them are easily measurable, and it can go really, really deep the further that you draw correlations. So, for example, water is affected by this resonance, but the water within our bodies is also affected by this. This one is really interesting to me. So the calcium is omnipresent in the body, and there are 2 electrons that calcium can shed when necessary within the body. And those electrons are really important for counteracting or neutralizing free radicals. And free radicals are bad for the body. Mm-hmm. So there is a particular frequency at which you can force calcium to do that. And that is also one of the resonances.
Mm. Yeah, frequency, dude.
I know. It's wild.
Get with it.
Get with it. One of the only ways to truly create it, though, for a human to listen to is with binaural, because it's so low that you have to have 2 different frequencies that cancel out.
Yep.
But it's there. The other thing is there is a night and day asymmetry because of the solar radiation. However, it isn't that profound. It isn't that big of a difference, and it isn't enough to really change it that much. And I was wondering, and I haven't been able to find this out yet, but we just experienced a full moon that had a bit of a lunar eclipse to it. So I'm wondering about, with the additional radiation, that we encounter in the night via the full moon, I wonder what all that does. And I wonder how that changes the resonance, or if it just supplies more energy to it. That I don't know.
Well, I don't know if we talked about it on here or not, but Wolfgang Ludwig, he was a doctor, like a scientist, and he studied the Earth and its resonance for years and years, and he figured that out. He developed a magnetic pulsar, a very small box, that eventually made it onto the NASA spaceships, because the astronauts were getting sick.
Yeah.
And when they had this pulse in there, they wouldn't get sick. They could stay up there for, and which is fucking crazy to really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
But he figured out a lot of really cool things because he was so, wrapped up in it. Just what you said about the cosmic radiation and geomagnetic radiation coming from the ground. So he put it together, there's 3 things happening pretty much. There's more things, but 3 main things going on.
Yeah.
And they all play off of each other. And so he worked that into the wave of his pulse. He actually contoured it to sort of mimic these 3 things working together.
Oh, interesting.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And then, like obviously the 7.83. It's like that little thing we have down here. It's a bifilar coil that makes a scalar field, and then 7.83 is just constantly pulsed through that, and it's emitting through that scalar field. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, like, except for binaural beats, and I know that binaural beats work, especially with alpha stuff, and you get down there pretty quick.
Yeah.
I do. But, I don't know. The Schumann's been really spiking up here in the last, I don't know, year or two, maybe more, but really in the past, like, half year.
Yeah. Well, and there were some huge spikes in the end of July, just kind of off the charts type spikes.
Like the fundamental.
Yeah.
It was going to 100 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did find one researcher who claimed that everyone was interpreting the data wrong. And this guy was fully on board with the Schumann Resonance and its effects on the body, but he was saying that those spikes that people are seeing are an incorrect interpretation of the spectrograph. So, and I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know anything about the science shit.
Yeah, and I don't know enough. Like,
Yeah.
I understand until I don't. But yeah, this guy, and I cannot remember his name, but he was saying that the actual rhythm of your beating heart corresponds to this as well. And he was saying that you can take subjects from different parts of the earth at the same time, but 1,000 miles apart or whatever, and their hearts will beat in the same rhythm as the earth. Yeah, so not sure about that, but that was one of the things I found when I was going through all this. But I was really I was fascinated by a number of things too. So part of the pulse and the sound is just the machinations of the earth itself. So, we often forget that we are on tectonic plates that are, over molten magma, and that they move, and yes, extremely slowly, but doesn't change the fact that, yes, they are constantly in movement. And you have the core, which is spinning counterclockwise to the earth, or counter to the earth, I should say. And so if you think of it like just a big machine with these big parts moving very, very slowly, then that's kind of an idea of the hum and the pulse of the earth.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why earthing or grounding is beneficial to humans and all animals, I would imagine, and plants too, but they're kind of stuck there. But if you walk barefoot in the grass or dirt or at a beach or whatever, that you are in direct contact with that frequency, and there's nothing in between, so you don't have like a rubber sole of your shoe or whatever in between stopping that, because obviously rubber is not a conductor, but lots of things are not good conductors. So wood, for example, it will conduct, but not well at all.
Yeah.
So even just standing on like a deck or something isn't enough. You have to get down in the grass.
It's bizarre how that shit works, really. I have a grounding mat down here that I just, when I'm editing this or doing something that I'm sitting for a long time, I'll put my feet on it. God, my stomach is going off. It's like, so if you hear that, that's what that is.
Talk about an abnormal space.
Abnormal space. I can feel a difference with it. It feels cool to me. It's like a cool air almost. It's bizarre. It's like when I wear copper. Mm-hmm. It's the same sort of kind of feeling, I think. It's like this cooling feeling.
Yeah.
It's like super strong. Like I can feel it. It's like I can tell when I have it and when I don't. And it doesn't take long at all. It's like pretty immediate, really.
Do you find that it calms you or gives you...
Oh, yeah, definitely. It makes me like more... Like, why don't I do this all the time? Like, but you can't do it all the time. You can only ground yourself when you're like you know, like you said, outside, barefoot, or you have a grounding mat, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that our culture is rubber soled. It just removes us completely from the ground, and we wonder why there's a lot of problems. That is contributing to what is happening in our bodies and shit. I mean, for real. It's not woo-woo. It's like...
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things that has really kind of opened my eyes with a lot of this is that it is relatively easily proven that not only is there an effect, but there is nearly an immediate beneficial effect.
Yeah.
And
I measured that shit with fucking with a multimeter the first time I got it.
yeah, just to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I made sure I was doing it right too. You know, I watched a bunch of videos and I'm like, how do you do this? Because I didn't know. But you have to like touch the mat and then touch. Like, I don't know if it's like you touch your body and then you touch the mat and then you. I don't know. There's a thing that you have to do, but you watch it. If you just touch your body, your electrical output is, you know, it could be anywhere up into like 200, you know, millivolts or whatever it is. It's like, and then whenever you step on this thing or you sit on it and then you do this thing, it goes down to like 0, and then it might go back up to like 0.002 or...
Wow.
And it'll just stay there.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we when we talked about electroculture, we were talking about the telluric current. And this plays right into that as well, because it's because of the electrical discharges throughout the Earth. There are 2,000 lightning storms going on at any given time on Earth.
Yeah.
And there are, on average, 50 lightning strikes a second on Earth. And so if you think, again, like it's a machine or something, you know, you just have this constant, like, dispersal of energy throughout the entire globe, you know. And so, yeah, so it creates, you know, these currents. And that, again, that's what Tesla was trying to access. And then that's what the electroculture helps to promote. So we can see that it exists and we can see obvious benefits, but it's such a low level thing, and it doesn't do much other than like chill you out and like, you know, promote some health and vitality within your body. But it doesn't, it's not such an effect that everyone can go, oh, I see exactly what's happening. Oh my gosh, it made such a difference. It doesn't work like that, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, we're not taught anything useful really. So, you know, really, I mean, a little bit, but we're not taught like the real crazy stuff that actually is going on. You know, it's like, oh, you know, we should be existing in an alpha brain state.
Yeah.
Like when you exist in that state, life becomes much more flowing and everything is, you know, beta is like you're amped and you're stressed and you're worried and you're just like there and you're doing, you're right, you're fighting through it.
Yeah.
Alpha's like you're in the flow state.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you're like,
Yeah.
It's like a daydreamy kind of, I don't know. I think I might be in it a lot just naturally just because I don't know why I feel like that. You know, your eyes kind of glaze over.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like, I don't know, it's like you're not really focusing on anything in particular, you know? But then you feel kind of like a little bit of, not tiredness, but like just a little bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's alpha.
Yeah. Well, you're relaxed, you're open. And I think, you know, we've talked about the ether or the Akashic record or whatever. I think that's where all of that exists, or at least the way to access it is that way. You have to be in that brainwave state in order to receive it because you have to be open.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I think like you're talking about daydreaming, you're like, oh, you're sitting there and then all of a sudden you're just kind of in a daydream state or whatever. Well, that's because it's open.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an actual trance state. I mean, that's light hypnosis.
Yeah.
And you do it every day, all day.
Yeah.
When you go into the next deeper state, it's theta. And that's where all the real crazy shit happens. You know, it's where like astral projection and all of these weird, like Edgar Casey states and all that shit. That's where that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really interesting too. We have figured out a way to get to like a sub state, you know, or some people have figured out how to get to like this sub state. And I only call it that just because it's a lower frequency, but it's also like in between being in this particular plane and some other plane, you know.
Yeah, and that stuff is fascinating, man. It's like all a vibration. It's all a tuning.
Yeah.
So it's just your consciousness tuning and resonating with something that's already there all the time. So it's like you're never going anywhere. And, you know, you're just, some lady was talking about it the other day, and it was cool. She's like, there's nothing mystical about it. You are noticing the tuning.
Yeah.
And you're noticing how the state feels so that you can, quote, sort of reproduce it, but you're not really reproducing it. You're noticing how it feels. And I'd say that's the most accurate thing that I've heard about it is like once you realize a state and you can reproduce it or like notice that feeling, then it just happens automatically. It's like it's always there. We just never notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, radio waves are around us all the time, but until we turn on the radio and tune into a particular frequency, you know.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah. And, you know, that's another thing that, that I think is good about knowing about these things is that if you can be more aware of when you're in a beta state, for example, you know, you might be able to use that to calm yourself down a little bit or at least like, oh, I'm behaving this way because my brain is in this other state, you know, and I need to get to a state that is more comfortable or whatever. Also, though, you know, it's specific to the action at the time. I mean, there are times where you need to be in a beta state, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much, really. Maybe like way less than what we think.
Right.
If you think about the world and the people in the world operating from an alpha state, you're looking at basically a new Earth.
Yes.
You're not looking at what we're seeing.
Right.
Because we are in survival mode like 90% of the time probably.
Right.
Except for when we're asleep, you know. And some people are even still that way when you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So we are very stuck in this like prehistoric body and mentality where we have to go and get and do and move and make things happen and do, you know, it's like we don't flow with anything. We don't know that's a possibility, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially people that have hard jobs and things that, you know, are really like labor intensive, you know, I mean, they're like, oh, I got to go to work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't talk to me about alpha waves.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you also wouldn't realize that would make any job go smoother because you're not trying to fight a huge rock.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You're working with the rock. You are the rock. You're part of it. You know?
There's this guy who I started following on TikTok for some reason, and his name is, he just says Paul. It's Paul.
Wow.
Just Paul. And he hasn't figured anything out, but it's interesting because he just says the same thing in every single videos, and there's 100 videos of him just saying, if I put my attention between my eyebrows, like in the middle of my forehead, and I feel the sensation of a very light sensation of pressure or whatever it is, like that's energy. Mm-hmm. He's like, I've been doing that every day for like a year, and I just stay there as long as I can, and he's gotten to the point where he just lives there.
Oh.
And he's like, it's changed everything because it doesn't stay there. Once you notice the sensation and you stay there, then you start staying there through all of the activities. And it's almost like it's a meditation, but to me, this is an old, very old, like Vedic sort of thing.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
It's like a mudra or whatever. It's you're living in this cave, which is your third eye or the midbrain or whatever. But they call it the heart cave as well. But it's just like silence, but you can feel it. It's weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's you, but it's without words and it's without anything.
Interesting.
Because the whole time you're doing your activities and living life, the only thing you really feel is that you're just this like anomalous pressure that starts to encompass. It's like everything happens in it, but it's always there. And so what I'm trying to get at is I thought it was very interesting because it's another take on, the shit we always talk about how, all this is happening in consciousness. Well, that sounds like the seat of consciousness to me. Like you're consciously aware of yourself all the time.
Yeah. It's like meta consciousness or something. Yeah.
So I've been fucking with it, and it is interesting.
I bet.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about how society has largely separated humans from Earth and the rest of the Earth.
Yeah.
Whether it's animals or plants or whatever, just the things that the Earth does. Like, we seem to believe that we're not part of it or that we're separate or something.
Yeah.
And this just reminds me that can't possibly be the case, that we are it.
Yeah, he has a post that just says, we're just animals that became self-aware.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Yeah. It's true.
And that's all that's going on.
Right. And we don't know what kind of self-awareness other animals have.
Totally. Probably other animals are all telepathic and shit. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
And we are too.
Right.
But we have this ego thinker thing that is like a imposter.
Right.
Who claims to be us.
Right.
And it couldn't be further from the truth. Even me saying that is crazy because, I'm speaking right now and I'm thinking and all this stuff and I feel like it's me.
Yeah.
But it isn't true.
Right. It's just another story.
It's
and that
just
one's not
more, yeah.
That's not even a true one.
It's just more shit happening and it's fucking wild, man.
Yeah. Yeah, when we say Schumann resonance, one of the reasons that resonance is always used is because of what an integral part of this whole process the actual resonating is. So these vibrations happen, these very low amplitude, slow and low vibrations, they actually resonate within the space between the ionosphere and the biosphere. What that does is it makes it stronger, or at least when you have other things resonating with it, it feels a little louder, it feels a little stronger, etc. And so when we were talking a minute ago about people being mostly in the beta state and how it would be better if people were in the alpha state, if we could get brains more aligned, then we would resonate with each other better.
Oh, yeah.
And if we resonated with each other and the earth better, well, then I think, things would be a lot smoother and simpler. And we'd be a lot more open, and we'd be probably more forgiving and more loving.
Yeah, well, we would probably be more telepathic. It would open up new ways of being.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we are that already, but it's covered up by all this junk.
Yeah.
And we just don't know. Most people don't even know that there is an option
Right.
out.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks,
Yeah.
because it's always here, and it's difficult because we're so habitually like just in this, like it feels like there's no time to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's sad too.
It is. Well, and then too, like once most people know about these types of things or learn about them, whatever, then the next thing is, well, yeah, but that's not something I could do.
Right. And that's it's just crazy, man, because it's like, how can one human be able to do it and then everybody else can't?
Right.
Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't make any sense. I mean, and the thing is, we're biologically, we are somewhat chaotic in that there is no exact copy of one human to another. So because of that, we often stop the discussion at, well, everyone's different, and just because there's a Michael Jordan doesn't mean that I can fly through the air and slam dunk. So I'm not even going to try. And I'm like, yes and no. Part of that is a story you tell yourself. Part of that is a limitation that you've set for yourself. But the other thing is that brainwave states are universal.
Yeah.
They're the same no matter what.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're Michael Jordan or me. You can have the exact same brainwave state and the same effects happen for everyone.
Like if you had a universal frequency that like just dissolved the body, it would be for all of us.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter how strong you are or how weak you are. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's like when Dr. Anthony Holland figured out the exact frequency to obliterate or I can't remember the term he used, basically like disassemble, but anyway, to eradicate the cancer cells, it's literally the same thing, just the other direction. Like instead of finding the frequency that destroys, it's like we already know the brainwave frequency in which we function the best, so it's like figuring out how to achieve that.
Yeah, and it's going to look different in every person because every person has, like a big bag of gifts. Gifts. It gets hard to say.
It is.
Big bag of gifts that other people don't have in the same ratios. So it's like, yeah, you're not Michael Jordan. You're not built like him. You're not going to do that. But that doesn't mean you can't have the same flow state that Michael Jordan has, and whatever your thing is comes out.
Yeah,
and you don't even know what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because we are so removed from it doesn't mean that we can't access it. And I think that's another like limitation that we put on ourselves. Now, I'm not advocating for walking around barefoot all the time, because I'm just not that person.
Yeah, me either.
However, I can see the benefits, or at least I can understand the theory behind the benefits. Yeah. And knowing people, because I have a friend who is a cancer survivor. He started doing the earthing with a grounding mat as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he has noticed a nice benefit from it. Part of it is just the relaxation. It's just like, for some reason, it relaxes you.
It takes the charge, the extra. I don't know if that's they relate it to inflammation and all of that stuff, but it's everything your body doesn't need to have.
Yeah,
it takes it down to zero again, where it drains off into the earth.
Yeah,
and you feel it. You feel it immediately. I'm telling you, man, like I'm very energy sensitive. I mean, I just am. I don't know, good or bad. A lot of it's bad. It feels bad. But sometimes I get in such a state that I'm just like, that there's nothing I can do. I'm just like, just feel so bad, you know? And then I'll literally go outside and take my shoes and socks off and just sit in a chair in the yard
Yeah.
for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, every time I'm right as rain
Yeah.
when I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, all right, well, that wasn't so bad. And so I'm like, why don't I do this every day? I need to do this every day.
Yeah. I need to incorporate it in my daily habits as well. I actually did it this morning before I came over here.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's great. And I positioned myself so that the sun was shining directly on me too, because, the other night I was in the hot tub and had the full moon shining directly on me. I believe that cosmic radiation and that solar energy is also necessary. And you think about plants have to have it. We have to have it. It helps with our vitamin D processing and everything else. So I sat out there and basically had a face full of sun and feet full of grass, and I felt good.
Yeah. I mean, it will make you feel, it will make you feel good because you don't normally do that.
Right.
You know, what's weird is like if you do go out to the ocean, there's things about negative ions and all this stuff, and it's really interesting because that's why you get so tired at the ocean. Mm-hmm. I think it's the wind.
Yep.
The wind steals the negative ions from you or something like that.
It's something like that, yeah.
Which is, I never thought about it before, but it's totally a thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I had always assumed that it was the rhythm of the waves that kind of lulled you, and that's probably part of it, but it's definitely also the reduction in those ions.
It's that high wind. But and another interesting thing is, like if you're on a walk or whatever, you don't take your shoes off and shit, just go to a tree and literally put your hand on it. Like lean up against a tree, touch a tree. I know it sounds whatever, but it's absolutely like one of the best things you can fucking do.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking about too how when humans went from hunter-gatherer nomadic to agriculture based, they started working with their hands in the dirt more. Mm-hmm. And then life came out in the form of potatoes or whatever. And I'm just struck by what they must have thought. They're like, I like to put my hands in this dirt.
Yeah.
And it feels good. Oh, and now we've got sustenance,
Yeah.
And it must have felt so magical and mystical. But that's 2025 me thinking that there's a very good chance that they were just like, well, this is just the way it is. This is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And they didn't ascribe any, mythical being to it. They were just like, oh, hey, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like more animalistic kind of, animals eat what they eat.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
Till you feed a duck bread.
Yeah, I guess so. That is a true thing. So maybe not.
But they would otherwise if there wasn't some outside influence or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because like if you see like a monkey or a gorilla or something, that they eat what they would normally eat when there's enough of it.
Yeah.
They're not going to eat like something that they don't want.
Right. Yeah. And they'll stick with what they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, side tangent, but I was listening to a podcast about how there actually is no instinct, and there have been like lots of experiments to try to demonstrate this, and so essentially the concept is that nothing is instinctual; it's all taught, and even when it comes down to eating and animals eating, etc., if they're not shown, they don't know what to do.
Oh, and I could see that.
I know it seems counter to what we have been taught and led to believe, etc. But I mean, it was recently published, this paper, and it cited all these different experiments and different ways that they went to demonstrate this, and that was kind of shocking to me.
I do think about, the only thing I think about is like, you know how horses will have a baby or whatever, a deer will have a baby and it just comes out like standing up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little something to that. Like, it's got to be, it's not maybe instinctual, but it's like it's necessary somehow.
Yeah.
You know, for the survival of their species. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I don't know, and I don't know where that line is
Yeah.
of what is quote unquote instinctual and what isn't. I mean, involuntary stuff like breathing,
right.
you know, is that instinctual?
Well, no, because you're not doing it. Well, I mean, you don't do breathing.
Right. Breathing just does.
Heart beats, all this stuff just happens, and you know, we don't do it.
Yeah.
As we've spoken about many times.
Yeah.
But it always comes back to that because it's just the truth. Like, we don't do breathing. Like, everybody thinks, I mean, I don't know if they think they do breathing, but the fact that you can become conscious of your breathing and change it,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you do it.
Okay. I just remembered last night I had a dream, and this guru type person was telling me about breathing and how he had been working on breathing his whole life and how important breathing was. And I totally forgot that I had
What
that.
the hell?
I know. I totally forgot that until you just said that.
You should have just led with that.
I know. I totally forgot it, but yeah. And he was like, see, when your breathing's this way, it feels like this. And the end of all of his sentences would have like a whoosh, and like I would actually feel it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, damn, dude.
I know.
You had a mystical dream.
I really did. It's funny, I never remember my dreams, and I couldn't tell you that I even had them, and then something might trigger it like that. And then I saw him. He was kind of Indian looking. Yeah.
Teaching you some shit
I
up
know.
in your dream, man.
I know.
That kind of shit to me is so cool because it's like I've had dreams like that, and you're just like, not like that, but you know, you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like when I did that hypnosis thing and I had that crazy energy needle put behind my ear and all that shit, like I'll never forget that ever.
Right. Yeah.
Because that actually happened to
Yeah.
me. It had such a profound effect physiologically on me that when I woke up, I just felt sick and I felt like I was in another world.
Wow.
You know, I was just like vibrating and like seeing stars, you know, like kind of how you feel when you're going to pass out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was asleep and I woke up.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that was such a crazy, but yeah, that kind of stuff is so cool because I know that it's going on all the time.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just a different brainwave state, and you're able to access this other stuff.
Just one or two states away from where you are, and
Yeah.
it's already happening. Actually, what's crazy is it's happening right now
Right.
to you.
Yes.
You're being taught on all these levels, and you're doing all this shit.
Right.
You're just not consciously aware of it
Yeah.
in this, whatever this iteration of you is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That blows my mind.